Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Hey, there you are. Welcome back to Swim Lessons, the podcast. My name is Dallas Hanson. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. It only takes about 10 seconds. All you gotta do is just hit that subscribe button right below this video. It helps us out a lot here at Swim Lessons, the podcast. But my guest today, it was a fun one. It's girls head basketball coach Jacob Braaten for Williston High School, the Lady Coyotes. Coach Braaten and I talked about his first year with the Lady Coyotes and how well of a job he's done. And throughout the interview, I tell him how I was at fault from the beginning about something and how he made me look bad. So appreciate Coach Braaten and all he's done for the game of basketball. And I wish him and the Lady Coyotes a very successful WDA tournament. But before we get to Coach Braaten, we got to talk about PSP Network. It's game day. Right now, PSP is in the heart of tournament season. So whether you're a hockey fan or basketball fan, they've got everything you need and more. And what you need to do, folks, is go to psp.network. That's www.psp.network. On there, you can sign up for PSP Plus. Right now, it's $54.99. And with that $54.99, you get all these Class B games, Class A, AA, hockey. It's going to be fantastic tournament coverage. It's just like ESPN, but the North Dakota version. So appreciate Nick Holberg and PSP for coming on board for some sponsorships. So make sure you check out PSP Network. Next up is my favorite place to eat in Williston, North Dakota. That's River's Edge Bar and Grill. They're known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. And then Glosso Angus. Glosso Angus is a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. They're your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Long time for Glosso Angus. Glosso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and my favorite word, docility, and they're built to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out. That's Glosso, Glasoe, Angus.com. And then it's Game Day Media. More than a game. Your leader in live video sports coverage in Northwest North Dakota. At Game Day Media, our goal is to expose, support, and promote the best athletes that North Dakota has to offer. Subscribe to our channel at Game Day Media ND on YouTube. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Media for schedules, quick links to game stats, everything you need for that favorite student athlete of yours. Hey folks, also make sure you check out Plains Window Cleaning, interior and exterior window cleaning on residential and commercial buildings throughout North Dakota. Call Jacob today at 701-609-0405. Again, that's Jacob Braaten at Plains Window Cleaning. Appreciate all the sponsors. Don't forget to subscribe. Also check out PSP Network on that www.psp.network and Game Day Media. Two great people covering some great games. What's up, Jacob? Good to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely, dude. It's going to be a fun time.
I owe you an apology. So you and I go back, way back to playing high school basketball against each other. When I saw, and then we coached against each other. You were Trinity's head coach. When I saw you were leaving Trinity and you were going to go coach the girls here at Williston, I thought to myself, that's not a good move. That's a bad move. And I talked to people around the state and they're like, yeah, I agree. What's he doing? But here comes Jacob Braaten and here come the Williston High School Coyote girls program. You're building this thing back up. You guys look phenomenal. I've called a few of your games. And the best part of it is you're young. So this team is going to be good for years to come. So my bad, buddy. I apologize.
No,
but also
good.
as a friend of yours and as a colleague in the coaching world and now calling games for you, it's very insight. It's good to see.
So when you started that conversation, I thought you were going to tell me you're going to go find a AA girls team to go coach, because it seems like anywhere I find you, whether we're playing, you're beating me. You're beating me on the court. We go coach against each other. I mean, you had the best of me a couple big games there. So I appreciate you not bringing that up. But it's been a fun change. It's been the transition's been awesome. I've enjoyed it.
Well, you've really adapted nicely, I feel like.
Yeah, and a little bit of concern with that, right? Going from boys for 13 years, that's all I knew, and now you're talking girl basketball.
Right.
What am I doing?
Right.
My wife says, "Hey, what are you doing, Jacob here?"
Yeah.
And I walked into that very first practice. I said, "Girls, you know what? I've coached boys for 13 years. I'm going to coach you guys like you're my boys right now. I'm going to get after you guys. I'm going to coach you hard. I'm going to tell you what you need to do. I'm going to love you guys at the same time. So,
well, it's worked out. I mean, a lot of the upsets, and I feel like, you got, when you went up to Minot, and hold on one second. I feel like your coming out party as a head coach was you were playing the Minot JV, but that's also kind of not a slap in the face, in the right way to put it, but it felt like you were underestimated. You go up to Minot, beat their JV, and then the whole state's like, okay, Williston, they're a varsity schedule now officially.
Yep.
They're here to play.
Yep. Yeah, and even that, I told those girls, that JV team, the Minot team that we just saw with the varsity, I mean, two girls were missing. Like, that JV team was a lot of varsity girls, and I said, don't view this as a JV game right now.
Right.
View this as a game that you guys got to go win. You guys set that tone. And that's what I've been preaching to these girls this whole season is you guys got to earn your stripes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been bad for a lot of years, and it's time. I mean, we know you can play good, but you got to go put it on the court. You guys got to earn this stuff. So it was exciting to see.
The Ostrom girls, they're sisters, right?
Yeah, twins.
Fantastic. I mean, you haven't seen a family like that since, remember the Packenhouse?
Yeah.
I mean, those two were twins. They played for Parshall. They won a state championship.
Absolutely.
I mean, the Ostrom girls, they're fantastic. One's a lefty, one's a righty. The lefty plays the guard spot. The righty plays kind of, she's all over. She plays 1 through 5
she can
pretty
do
much.
Everything.
Yep. But that's a program builders, man.
They are. And they're good people.
Yeah.
They got parents that are pushing them. They got coaches, and they've been pushed for a while. And so they've seen success. Elementary, junior high, teams couldn't beat them. I mean, they know what it takes to win, but at the same point, they've been playing varsity since they've been 7th graders now. So they've been through this struggle. They've seen teams come in there and punch them in the face, and they know what it takes to win. And that's why it's fun where I'm at right now, because they have a little bit of experience. You're not coaching them, they're not fresh rookies or nothing. So just seeing their growth from even last year to where they're at right now, they're putting it together, and they're young still.
Yeah, and that brings, this is Swim Lessons Champion Week, we're calling it. So it's building up to the WDA. You and I were talking before this. The girls' side of WDA is going to be very good. Boys' side is going to be very good as well.
Yeah.
But there's kind of, you guys are right in that middle spot right now. You're trying to get, obviously, top 4, go to the state tournament. What's it going to take, Jacob, to get Williston High to that top spot?
Boy,
tough question right here, 5 minutes in.
No, it's a tough question, but it's a good question because, as you said, you've called a few of our games. There's times when you look at that team, that girls team, and you're thinking, these girls, when they put it together, they put it together. They look good, they play good, but then the youth shows. There's times that youth and the inexperience and turnovers. As a coach, we understand that possession matters so much. That 4-point lead, push that to a 6-point lead, push that to a 7-point lead. That matters so much, whereas sometimes players view possessions as just possessions. Like, oh, that's a throwaway possession, whatever, we did something dumb. To get these girls to understand that every single possession matters, and not even every single possession, but every single stop matters. We could go 5 minutes without scoring, but if we go 5 minutes without letting them score, we're okay. Like, we can build a run in a game where we're scoring every couple minutes, but we're not letting them score. And so, like, trying to get that across to a young team is a challenge, but something they've slowly bought into.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on there, but also, I mean, this is a tough league.
Oh man,
you were telling me walking in here, you're like, man, I'm tired. We went down to Mandan, we didn't play very good, but now we got to bounce back. And I was talking to Dan Glauser, the head boys basketball coach at Dickinson this morning, and he goes, yeah, man, we just lost to Legacy. I'm beat. He's like, it's like Groundhog's Day. Now we got to bounce back. But I don't think everybody in the state realizes how tough it is to be a AA coach. Class B, any kind of coach, it's tough.
Any kind.
Dude, this is doggy dog.
It's doggy dog. BHS comes in here, we lose by 2, they go beat St. Mary's. I was just talking to you just a minute ago here about Century comes in and we have a nice win over Century. Century goes over, they beat Mandan. We go Mandan and they just, we didn't play our best, we didn't step up, and I think that's what it comes down to is what teams are peaking at the right time and what teams are bought in, what teams are playing with confidence. I think that's going to determine a lot going forward because 1 through 6, I think any team could beat any team.
I'm with you. Let's tell me a little bit offensive philosophy wise. We knew Trinity, you had some dogs there. I mean, absolute dogs. The Grinland kid was really good.
Yep.
What was the name of the kid last year that was fantastic? He's overseas now.
Kai Thomas.
Hey, folks, hope you are enjoying this episode. But support for Swim Lessons, the podcast, comes from Brandon Weber, your Edward Jones financial advisor at 1600 2nd Avenue Southeast, Minot, North Dakota. For more information, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Fantastic player. So you have to switch from having these arguably some of the better players in the state on your team to now I've got these young girls.
Yep.
We don't really have a true star, if you will.
Yep.
How did your offensive philosophy change? And what can we expect from the Lady Coyotes?
So I would say, even going back to my Trinity days, my big thing always is confidence and mentality, right? I preach you can lose that game before you step on the court. If and free throws. You're shooting that free throw. If you're second guessing your shots already, they're just not going to drop. So we always preach confidence, but we always, some people aren't shooters. You got to, so you got to direct them. You got to preach confidence, but you also got to preach discipline to these girls and boys. So offensively, when I came in, I remember the very first day I stepped into this court, they all had their shooting guns out. They're shooting mid-range shots. I look out Alex Ostrom, she's 70 for 80 from about 18 feet out. I'm like, 70 for 80. Like, I got Trinity boys that couldn't have done that.
Yeah.
I got, Kai Thomas. I don't know if he could have done that.
Yeah.
I look over another girl, 65 for 80. I start thinking to myself, I got some girls that can shoot. I just got to get them open now. And if I can get them open, we're going to have some success. So, offensively, we really push transition. How can we get that ball going? How can we get that defense scrambling where when they scramble, we can find that open person? When it comes down to offensive set, we really try to attack the hoop and try to find windows, attack kickbacks, whatever we got to do there, set some off screens. My thing that we do, and not to get to spread too many of my secrets.
Yeah, don't give it all away here, buddy.
We want to run different offensive sets based on what our point guard comes out and does. And that's a learning process, because it's not come down, let's run play one. It's is that point guard going to, they pass into the two guard? If they are, that's going to set an action in for us. That's something that we want to work on. We want to get better at. We're raw at it, but it's something that we can build to.
One of my favorite players to watch in your team, and the last game I was here for, we gave her our MVP of the game, is the Klumpker girl.
Love it.
I made a joke on the broadcast about how she wears long sleeves.
Yeah.
And that's because she's always diving on the floor. And as a head coach, to have, I don't know if the term glue is the right, like the glue player.
Yep.
But it's so nice to have a player that dives on the floor, can hit open shots, and then defensively just gets after it.
Yep.
I mean, what's she like, and how great of a player has she been for you?
It's funny. Mika last year saw the court maybe 5 minutes. Never saw the court. She put some time in this year. She could have put more time in, but she put some time. I remember she showed up to one of our open gyms. Volleyball's going on. Volleyball coach says, "Hey, we don't want these girls scrimmaging. It's volleyball season." Mika comes in and she's like, "I don't care what's going on. I'm playing. I'm getting on this gym. I'm going to, And so you saw that mentality in her immediately. And as a coach, we can work with that. We can work those girls that just want it more than anybody else. Boys that want it, we can work with that. And so Mika brought that to the table right away. She's hard-nosed. She doesn't care what anybody thinks. She's out there to be a dog for her teammates and for herself. She has been, I don't got favorites, but Mika, she is my favorite player out there, because I know what I'm going to get every single night from her.
She's my favorite. She's so fun to watch. And if you're a young person and you get a chance to watch a player like that, it's going to be like, oh, that because Jacob, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but if you want to be good, you got to have a strong role player just like that.
Oh, you do.
You do.
And so Mika, funny story. Mika started out on JV. Her and Riley, number 30, both played JV.
Ergens?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They both played JV to start the season. So
really?
they'd play one quarter JV, they'd play two varsity. And they'd go in that JV game. And I remember they played that JV game like that was their last game that they're ever going to play. Like, they're diving on the court. They're giving their all, to the point I'm like, hey, girls, I need you in the varsity game here too. And as the season has gone, I've slowly taken them out of that role. They've moved into the starting lineups. But their passion and their fight hasn't stopped. At first it was they're fighting. I don't want to be a JV player. I want to be a star out there, and we're going to work our tail off to get to that spot. And they haven't stopped. They're still pushing. They're still grinding. They're still pushing everyone around them. They're leaders. They're girls that can bring other girls around and push forward.
Yeah, and I mean, and you bring girls off the bench like the Fleck girl. She's a shooter. She's a lefty. I mean, you got 2 lefties. That never happens.
Yeah, you got 2 lefties, and then even Lizzie Milne, she scored 16 for us last night. She comes off the bench. She hit some threes. Grace Johnson.
Yeah, Grace.
You know, we got shooters that can come off the bench, which makes it exciting because you're able to, as a coach, that personnel, you can kind of get the personnel that you want to vibe for, you know, different type of games. And they know their roles, and they're doing their best to excel in every role they got.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun, and I've watched. I talked to you a little bit before each game, and it's been fun as a friend of yours to watch you adapt and to watch you. And I told this to Matt Cavernum, Trevor Tomte, all my friends. I said, Braaten, when I first met him, he was getting into the coaching realm, and you could kind of see he knew the game, but he was trying to figure himself out. But now, dude, I talked to you before the game, and you're like, yeah, you're very straightforward, and you're very like, how should I put this? To the point.
Right.
You know, you're like, this is what's going to happen, you know, and there's no, your business.
Right.
Business mentality. And it's been fun to watch you adapt. I mean, in Dickinson, you started the Ergens girl. Yeah. She gets the start, kind of hard work starts paying off. You're getting this new rotation on that's amazing to see. And I just, it's good because Williston High it's a bigger school now.
Yep.
And it's been so long since they've had a team that's been relevant. And I mean, this is John Cole's world.
Right.
I see him at games. He's stoked. I mean, how does it feel to be a head coach of a team where you've got not only momentum going for you, but also you've got the backing of the city?
Oh, you know, and that's part of what drove me, you know, to come over here. A, that challenge, and B, you know, you look at that banner board, you see there's been a struggle. Last state girls team, 1975.
Wow.
You know, it's been forever.
That's the last time they were at the state tournament?
Yeah, it was state championship.
State championship. Okay. Yeah.
State tournament, I want to say it was 2019 is the last time they made it there. But even Beaten Century, last time they did that, 2002.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking 20 plus years. And so when I saw the girls and who they are and the fight that each one of them has, and then I saw the struggle that has taken place in basketball here for so long, it's like, you know, you kind of, as a coach, you're like, you're hungry for that. You're like, you know, give me that challenge because I can take this group and we can do some special things as long as they buy in and, you know, and you coach them hard and you get them going the right direction. You got John Cole over there, like you said, going crazy, talking to me before, after the games, and go out there, beat that Bismarck team. You know, it's a fun thing. You go to the Arc, you know, working out, walking, the amount of people that walk over and just say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And, you know, it's a fun team to watch. It's special when you got the whole city that's just loving it.
It makes coaching worth it.
It makes it worth it. I mean, because, you know, sometimes as a coach, you feel like you're on an island. You know, you're doing your best you can, but this person, they're not agreeing, and you know, it's fun when you got a little bit of support, but at the same time, you know, that confidence in what you're doing is most important.
How great is John Cole?
Isn't he awesome? You know, he showed up just the other day and said, hey, I'm here. Let's get an interview going right now, you know? And so he loves it. John is awesome. He wants me to just spank everything out there. Like, go out there, coach. Go get them. You know, it's fun.
I had heard that the gym was named after him, but to be John and get to cover a game in a gym that's named after you, I mean, that doesn't happen. But
and not even from Williston.
I know,
you know, coming from Boston,
the GOAT,
and then now also you got gym named after you. I mean, that's special.
It's a movie.
It is.
He was telling me, we did a podcast. He rode a bus over here and was just looking for jobs.
Isn't it crazy?
It's wild. Let's get back to Coyote basketball though. Okay, take me to right now, Coach Braaten. You're getting on the bus. You're heading to the Civic Center. You're, let's say, the 5-6 seed. Bring me the mentality that you're going to talk to your girls in the locker room, and what's going to be the message?
My thing that I've been preaching to them is every team that's out there, they got to play us. You know, as a coach, so many times like, oh, we got to go play Minot. Oh, we got to play Mandan. And I'm telling the girls, hey, girls, it's time Mandan. They got to come play us. They got to come play you, Avery. They got to come play you, Alex. You know, like, we're young, but age is just a number. Like before you know it, you ain't young no more. And like the opportunities that you see right now, if you're going to push them to the future, in the blink of an eye, they can disappear. People come, people go. We've seen it in, coaching at Trinity. You got to take what's in front of you right now, and you got to make the most of it. And it doesn't matter about your age. It doesn't matter about who you are. It doesn't matter about the past. It doesn't matter about the struggles that you've been through. It's time that they come play us, and we set that tone. So, that's kind of the message that we've been going with.
Let's go.
Let's
Dude,
go.
I love that.
Let's get it.
And it's spot on, because I feel like in the sporting world, it's the teams that have nothing to lose that are dangerous.
Absolutely.
It's the teams that kind of, have everything to lose, where it kind of gets tight up here.
Yeah,
It gets tight up here. And all of a sudden, Williston hanging around. Here they are at the end. I mean, it's exciting.
Absolutely. Mandan coach just the other day, he goes, I'd be happy if I don't see you again for the rest of the season. It's things that you love seeing that, but at the same point, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that, but I wish I would have beat you right now too.
Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words, but we're coming after you. And I want every team to say, hey, we don't want to play you guys no more. That's it's a compliment, but it's time for us to let's go put it in action.
Defensively, I've seen you guys do this press, and that's new for you as a coach. When did that come to your mind where you're like, okay, now I'm going to throw a little different, I'm going to throw pretty much everything in the kitchen sink, because you play zone defense, you play man-to-man, you kind of play that zone press, then you fall back. I've seen you fall back and do a 2-3, 1-3-1. What's your defensive philosophy?
Funny story, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Bismarck's boy coach. Wilhelm. Funny thing, last year he came up to Williston. He played the Coyotes, and I'm coaching Trinity at the time. Early in the year, we're talking probably December. I'm sitting there watching that rotation, that press, that pressure, and just eating. It was a neck and neck game at halftime, and then all of a sudden, they just turnover.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Exactly. I remember I called Matt up and I said, Matt, what's Jordan's number? I'd love to give him a call. Matt gave me it. I texted him and said, hey, I'm a boys coach over at Trinity. Could I talk to you for a little bit? He's like, absolutely. We sat on the phone and he just told me about the way that he goes about it, the way that he builds a program up, and how it's, it's not just a varsity. It's every step down. I remember thinking, boy, I need to bring that, and at the time, I was senior dominant with Trinity. So it's not something that I was going to put in that year, but coming over to Williston, I was like, so we don't run the same press, but the idea is the same. Like I want to come at you. I want to attack you. I want to set that tone. And as we get deeper and as we learn the system more, I'm hoping that we can just be a team kind of like that BHS team that just eats you alive time after time after time. That's kind of something I would love to see this group do. Half-court defense, like you said, we're going to throw a lot of different things at you. Can I be a man-to-man defense? That is who I am, true. At times right now, being young and having some weak, sometimes we don't have the height. We kind of got to mix some stuff up, try to throw different things at you. But at the end of the day, my heart is let's be the best man-to-man defense out there.
And it's tough to beat when you can play good 11-man defense.
It really is. I mean, I think you, especially in the AA over here, WDA, if you can't play man-to-man and you're relying on a 2-3 zone, eventually you're going to get ate up.
Talk about a guy like Wilhelm. Dude, he took over for Coach Miller, legendary coach. Wilhelm comes in and just throws this brand new thing. Yeah. And he's taken some bumps, he's taken some bruises along the way, but when that thing works, look out.
Oh, it's fun.
It's fun.
Like even,
and it's new.
Yeah, it's new. As a spectator, you sit there and you're like, I could, we might not win this game, but I could watch this team play for hours.
Me too.
And, as a coach, I remember watching it. I fell in love with it. I was like, it's not just so much you fall in love with, but like it takes 10 guys to do that. It takes another 10 guys on JV. Like you're getting guys experience. You're getting them pushing each other. It's a battle in practice. I guarantee. I've never been to one of his practices, but I bet you it's a full-on battle out there.
Last year I went down there and we did a podcast after one of his practices and I took it in and dude, it was intense.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like Willie's a great guy, but the guy that you talk to on the street is very different. Like he's just like it's I talked to you about this earlier. It's business. Guys, we're going to be in here for an hour and a half. We're going to get down to it. Yeah. And the thing I like about Wilhelm too is because when I was coaching, I brought Divide County down to this Bismarck tournament and we did a shoot around at Bismarck High. And I asked Wilhelm if we could go and if he would talk to the team, you know, just to kind of, and he talked about how he got into coaching, and maybe you can relate to this too, but he got into coaching because the mistakes he made as a player, he didn't want future basketball players to make.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's why he got into coaching. I just love that message.
I love it. I agree 1,000%. You know, I was a shooter. I love shooting the ball. We had great post players, and I'm not here to take any shots, but I remember the coach was very much, hey, we want to get this ball low. And as a shooter, I got it, but like I never felt the confidence from the head coach that I could make a difference on that court, that I could shoot that ball and I could shoot it effectively. And I knew there was times I could, but I knew our strengths as well, right? So as I became a head coach myself, it's like I want every guy, every girl out here, I want them knowing that I believe in them, and not in every area, but I believe in their strengths, and we're going to work on those, you know, those strengths, and we're going to take those weaknesses. We're going to work on those on the off season. But I want you to know that I have your back when that game is going. I'm your biggest fan out there.
I love it. What's practices like?
Practices they're awesome. You know, it's funny because like girl practice, like how are we gonna do this? How, you know, where's the emotions at here today? Yeah. So there's a little bit more navigating at times. You know what's happening, but those girls, we start practice, they bring that speaker up and they turn that music up louder than I've ever heard music. They're out there, they're having fun, and that's the one thing. Some girls, especially when you come into this public school setting, some family lives aren't the greatest. Sometimes you're going against families that are, you know, girls that are just struggling in life, and sometimes that gym right there, that space, is what they need for themselves.
It's a sacred spot.
It's a safe spot where they can just be them. They can put all the problems away. And that's part of it. I'm like, turn that music up. I want you guys shooting. Go have fun. And we're going to get to business. Go have fun for this first few minutes of this practice. Go have fun. Go talk to each other. Go mess around. And as a coach, like, I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to run around. I'm going to mess around. I'm going to swat that ball when you're not looking. You know, we're going to have fun. And then, you know, when it all comes together, those girls are focused. And they have been focused for many years. They're ready to get to work, and they want to be coached harder than any boys team I've ever coached. They want me to get after them. They want me to chew them out, and they're going to learn, and they're going to take it, and they don't run away from it.
One thing I wanted to ask you, and it just came to my mind, was, okay, you're the Trinity boys coach. You see this opening spot. What was your mindset when you were thinking about applying, and then what was the interview process like?
You know, when it opened up, I had a few people actually reach out to me in the Williston community and say, hey, what'd you think about doing this? I didn't think about doing it. I was like, you know what, I'm good. You know, over at
that's your alma mater was Trinity.
Trinity, and I mean, 2 of the last 3 years, we've won the district championship over there. I mean, we got something that we're building now. Again, you know, we had a good senior crew there. You know, we a little bit in a transition, which is part of the reason what's like, okay, if I'm going to move here, if I'm leaving Trinity, you know, my seniors are gone. I got a real good freshman group that's coming up. You know, that's something I can leave behind to another coach, right? Now I'm going to leave them high and dry. There's something that they can build forward. But I also knew if I was going to coach Trinity one more year, I was going to go 5 more years, right? I'm going to see those. I'm not going to, you know, go through the rebuild process and not see it all the way through. So as the girls' spot opened up, as people reached out, I looked into it a little bit more. Funny story, 2 summers ago, I was helping out for just a little summer camp. All these girls they're junior hires at the time. I actually got placed with all of them to coach them for 2 days.
No way.
And so I got Mika. I got to learn who Mika was. I got to learn who the Ostrom girls were. So when the spot opens up, I'm not completely out of the blue. You know, I know what's going on a little bit, which intrigued me. And, you know, I knew there was some heart there. There's some passion. So interview process was great. You know, Robert Conley, the AD, stepped in. And
I like that guy a lot.
He's not easy to interview with either.
He's intense.
I think I sat in here for 2 hours. You know, they got video screens of, you know, Bismarck High and their press, and they say, how are you going to break this right now? Show me your best outplay. How are you going to win this game right now? You're down by 4. I mean, like, it's not a cookie cutter type of interview. They make you work for it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, they want to win, and it starts at the top.
It does, and you know, you can slowly see that, and even on the boys' side, like, there's been some struggles, but like, those boys, they're not winning many games, but you look at the team, and they're still a team. Like, they're not breaking apart. So like Coach Quinn over there, he's doing a great job. You know, over at the girls, you know, of course I'm going to critique different things, but like, we're putting together the best program that we possibly can, and the girls are buying in, and you're seeing some of it show up now.
Well, Bridger Johnson and Solomon Harris, the Rivlin kid, he's really good. I mean, they got nice pieces.
They got pieces that definitely, and outside Bridger, senior, but the other two, those are juniors right there. And Dickinson was a lot of the same. They had a lot of juniors last year. Now a lot of those seniors have stepped up. They've had good off seasons, and man, you see them go beat Minot. I mean, you can build quick. What's going to be your summer plan here with the team? And that's my favorite thing. That's probably the most frustrating thing about this whole process. I got the job back in October, so 0 off-season work. We go straight into the season. I'm not able to really build anything right away. I've always been a big team camp thing. I love AAU. Okay, it's great. But can I get my team to be together as much as possible? You look at, I've always used it as an example. You look at those Powers Lake teams from back in the day. Yep. Like I used to say, guys, I guarantee those Powers Lake teams, they're probably living together, they're eating together, they're having breakfast together, they're going to movies together. Like there's a family culture over there. And it starts with the leadership, starts with Jordan Carlson, what he's brought, but then Inget and just the different guards, the different leaders that have came through that program. And that's what I want from my girls. I want our summer to be a summer where we're building as a family. We're young. This isn't a time for us to start doing our own different things. Like, let's build this. Let's go to Minneapolis. Let's go to NDSU. Let's go to all these teams camps. Let's go compete. Let's build some confidence amongst each other. Let's learn how we play a little bit more. So I'm always going to be pushing team camps. And then, of course, just like off season, that's when you get better as an individual. And the WDA, so many girls are getting better. Like, you got to set yourself apart. And, you guys ain't going to just win because you're young and you're getting older. Like, you got to get better. So, and if you want to win in the winter, you got to play in the summer. You have to play in the summer. I mean, have to. And you brought up an interesting point there, like the travel ball stuff and everything. We know about that. You said you don't mind it, and I'm with you. But I feel like sometimes it's no secret that the big schools are getting bigger, the small schools are getting smaller, like Divide County, like Trinity, they're getting. And I feel like sometimes we're not trying to kill programs, and it's great to make kids better, but it's like these kids look and they're like, oh man, this kid's playing all year round. I'm playing, a little bit in the summer and then in the winter. Right. That's kind of against them a little bit. It is. And it's tough. It is. I mean, it's like it. And I can't overemphasize like the importance of it because, like you said, I mean, and this is the tough part. Like, going back to just my girls, they're multi-sport athletes. Yeah, I mean, softball champions. They're working all the time. They're always grinding. And so, as a coach now, like, Trinity is like basketball's life. It's all that matters. Yeah. Over here, it's like, we love softball, we love volleyball, we love basketball. How can I, and that's why just seeing what they've done this year, seeing the little bit more success that they're having, it's creating a little bit more hunger in those girls. It's creating that we can be this team. We can be that team that in 40 years is walking out at half court because we won a state championship. Like, we have the capabilities to do it, but we got to want it more. And my big thing is you guys got to want it more than I do. You guys, like the coach, I'm going to do everything possible, but you guys got to want it more than me. So, and that goes into that summer league stuff. You got to want it more than I do. I love it. Well, Coach, believe it or not, we've been at this for 30 minutes. It flies by, doesn't it? It does. I can't believe it. I love doing this. So, Swim Lessons, podcast about overcoming tough times. Coach Braaten, what do you say to yourself when you're kind of in that tough spot and you're in the dark room, chips are against you, and you're trying to fight through something? What do you personally say to yourself to overcome that? I would say sometimes it's not so much what I say, it's the outlook. It's stepping back, evaluating the situation. There's a quote that I've always kind of lived by, and it's something I even tell basketball teams when we've gone through a hard time. It's something that I tell myself when I'm going through a hard time. And it's the Chinese farmer. Have you heard it? Chinese farmer is basically this Chinese farmer got a new horse, and then the whole town comes and says, "Oh, awesome! You got this new horse," and he's like, "Yeah, maybe it's awesome," and then this horse runs away. The whole town goes, "Oh, that's awful! Like, too bad you lost your horse." And he goes, maybe." Horse returns next day. 7 different horses show up. The whole town comes over. They say, "That's awesome," and he's like, maybe it's awesome." He has a son. Son hops on the horse, starts training this horse, bucks him off, breaks the kid's arm. And the whole town comes back, says, that sucks for you. He's like, maybe it sucks. The officers come the next day, and they're recruiting for the Army. and they walk past the son and they say, hey, we can't take this guy. He has a broken arm. The whole town comes back over. They say, oh, that's awesome. Your son is going in the army, blah, blah, blah. And what it is so many things in life happen. And you know, we may view losing to Mandan like, that sucks. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it's something that we needed. Maybe it's something that we got to use for our advantage. Same with life. Like sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes stuff in life, I mean, it hits you in the face and it's hard and it's tough. But sometimes we don't know how that purpose, how things are going to play out, that wisdom that you're going to gain from that thing, that you can help, that you can push forward to another individual. We just don't know how that's going to work. So I just like taking that step back and just saying, you know what, it does suck, but let's see what happens.
Beautiful. Some Phil Jackson-esque philosophy there. I love it. Beautiful. Give us a quick plug where people can follow Williston Lady Coyotes.
We got Instagram. Coach Apollo has kind of taken an Instagram and he's really done it well. I think it's just WHS girls basketball. And then we got a Facebook page as well. And those are kind of our two main things. But the best place you can follow us is showing up at the John Cole Arena and watch that game.
And PSP. We've been coming here a lot.
PSP, I love it. And I can't, Dallas, I go home after every single game. I put it on and I listen to you.
Oh,
I know. And it's two reasons. I love hearing you, but I love hearing you from the coach. I want to hear, I always say if it's just the Jacob Braaten show out here, we're all going to fail. Like, I need my assistant coaches. I need players. I need us all to come together. So when I can hear another coach say, hey, what's the coach Braaten do here? Or that's an awesome thing that coach, like those kind of things mean the world to me.
Dude, it's as a friend now to see you grow and to become what you become today, very inspiring. So I wish you the best of luck. Everybody go follow the Williston Lady Coyotes. Those videos that you put up on the social media are phenomenal, dude.
I know, they're awesome.
Phenomenal.
We had something that we can't keep doing them, but it's something that I'd love to bring. You know, as a new coach, it's culture change. How can we change this culture? And it's little things sometimes, right? And that was one of the things that we kind of brought, and we got change some stuff up, but that was fun.
Well, you're the man, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck in the WDA, and appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Dallas.
That's a wrap, Coach Braaten.